John total flint nap, and might take me a few minutes to get set up here out on the lean-to porch of my old barn. My building's a metal building, and I didn't turn my AC on last night. And boy, it is so hot, and that thing is unbelievable. So I got a big fan in the window here that pulls the dust out of my shop. I'm gonna sit in front of it and nap. Before I get started, let me tell you what I got here. Take a few minutes. I packed this stuff and dropped it up. I should have gathered it up before I started the video. But this is Flint River from Albany, Georgia. I got it from a guy by the name of Jeff Head, and he knows what he's doing. Probably 40 years ago, maybe longer than that, they were digging a drainage ditch from a swimming pool in Albany, Georgia, into the river, and they hit this stuff by the tons and hauling it off by the dump truck loads and dumping it. And some of it was the most translucent honey color. You could see light right through it. I would say, and I'm talking about solid pieces like make coffee table tops out of. I know several guys that made tops like 2 or 3 foot coffee tables out of it. We would go get it, get 4,000 or 5,000 pounds at a time. Eventually it ran out. And then I had another friend that was getting it, and then I think he passed away. I'm pretty sure he did. We got out of touch, but anyway. And then Eddie Lee Ballard would get it for him, and then his brother got some, and I'd go get 6,000 or 8,000 pounds from them at a time. But I love this stuff, and this is not heat treated, and I love it when it's heat treated. I hadn't had time. I just got this in the mail. And then, anyway, I'm wanting to tell you, if you want some good material, he knows what he's doing. And show you right there. That's some fine stuff. If that was heat treated, it'd be like glass. Now I never heat treated stuff that was honey colored. It was real translucent. And a lot of this stuff I didn't heat treat. But it takes a low temperature. And the problem with Albany, Georgia Flint River flint is it comes in 100 different grades. And I don't see any honey translucent. He sent me 2 boxes. That big box is full. I hadn't even opened it yet. But this is what I call a peanut butter color grade. And it chips all right. I just want to show you how good it works, and I highly recommend buying it from him. And you don't know how to get in touch with him, and you won't get in touch with me, send me your info, and I'll give you his. I guess you say he's my competition. He sells rocks, and I sell rocks, but I don't have no place to get this anymore. Eddie Lee moved up to Arkansas, and I just lost all my resources for it. So when I seen he was selling it, I got excited. Ordered something from him. Got it in the mail today. This is some of my favorite material in that, but here comes the but part. You can have a piece that's as thick as a toothpick, and not one piece off, and be a hole in there, a little tiny hole. You can put a sewing machine needle up in. Just like this right here, there's a lot of fossil deposits and stuff in it. Boy, if you get lucky and get some big pieces, you're talking about making some pretty knife blades, things like that. They don't have any of that inclusions on. And the ones that do have the inclusions, you work around it pretty good and you usually get it out of there. Or just leave it in there. I think it looks pretty cool when it's in there. But I'm impressed with this. And impressed with the size pieces he sent me. And I told him to send me some that I could saw. That box is large. Open the medium flat rate box is what these flakes were in. You won't call them flakes. Some of them are just flakes and spalls and stuff. This isn't a flake to me. Too big to be a flake, even though it is a flake. going around this thing trying to find the pockets in it, any conclusions or anything like that. I'm gonna get around it in just a minute. We're gonna start moving some massive amounts of material, I hope. If it was heat treated, it would be so glossy. And the problem with heat treating this stuff, I was gonna say, I never finished my conversation on it. There we go. Is it comes in about 999 million different grades. And every one of them just about take a different temperature. And this is the best advice I can give a new beginner about heat treating something. If they say it takes 600 degrees and up or something like that, I would run at 500. Don't be in no hurry. Might take a day or two, but you gotta kill. To run at 500, within 30 minutes you can pick it up, knock a piece off every piece on it, and check it out. And you might be surprised, you might have 2 pieces out of 30 or 40 that are just as waxy and glossy as they can be. Well, what do you do now? Take them 2 pieces and use them, put the rest of it in there and run it to 600. 80% of it might be waxy and glossy then, so now what do? Put those in there and run it to 700. You got a couple of still not, run them to 800. You know, that way you're not busting all your rock at one time. If you put a load of rock in and you got your thermostat's wrong or your keel has problems or something, or if you're doing it outside and the wind goes blowing and the fire gets super hot because of the wind, you're liable to blow all that up. That's just money out the door, man. That's throwing money away. So that's why I always say, start at the low temperature, the very bottom, and work your way up. Because this stuff here, I'm looking down there at the floor. I dumped that box out and I see three different temperatures laying on the floor there. I see some that go up to 600 degrees laying on the floor. I see some that maybe 450 or 500 work on. But I know that because I've worked tons and tons of this stuff. I'm telling you, tons and tons. I've been working this stuff over 40 years. And also sort of like coral. A lot of people say, well, I hate coral, I got coral and get a lot of bad stuff in it and things, or I blew it up. Coral comes in different grades and takes different temperatures too. So if somebody says, oh, you heat treating coral, you got to heat it at such and such temperature. That's not true. Depends on what grade of it you have. It might take a lot more heat or it might take less. Always start low, that way you're safe. Check it. If you only have 1 piece that's glossy, at least you didn't blow it up. Then you'd run the temperature up 100 degrees or 50 degrees. And if you got 10 pieces that are glossy, at least you didn't say you had 30 in there. That means you don't have 19 that you're gonna run up again that you didn't lose and blowing up, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm just gonna haul a few of these out and make preforms for sale. This has got a bad hump right here. I'm gonna try to get it out on this piece and try to keep the width as wide as I can. And I'm gonna call it quit. Trying to figure out the best way to attack it. We got some of that limestone chalk right there, so I'm gonna knock that out. It's gotta come out anyway. That means I'm gonna attack it from this side. I really would like to do it from the other side looking at it. But this has gotta go anyway. You can hit on this all day and it won't hardly move. I hate limestone. Stuff bad in Georgetown and trying to do that. Just trying to. I done rounded it off. The billet's too big to get in the corners. I'm gonna get it in there. There we go. I got it in the corner. Didn't have much of a corner to get it in, but I did. It took me a little while. All right, now We'll grind this back. We'll try to come up this ridge this way. Come right in there. Run up the ridge that way. All right, now we'll try to follow this ridge up this way. There we go. That one's good enough to sell. You don't want too perfect because people got to learn. They buy them and then they got to do a little more thinning on them. This is a pretty neat looking piece here. And I'm not, officially I'm not supporting this guy because I sell rock and he sells rock. If you buy from him, I mean you're not buying from me. But here goes the butter. Here's the deal. I don't have access to this anymore, and it's good stuff. If you want to get good stuff, get it from me. For instance, you want to get good Texas stuff. I have some, but I don't have that many types. Curtis Smith's got just about everything out there, and he definitely knows what he's doing. He's not going to say no junk. You know, somebody says I bought some junk from Curtis Smith or back when James Bow was selling rocks. I wouldn't think nothing about it. It wouldn't bother me a bit. I said, well, y'all don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't tell you that. Because those guys knew what they were doing and they sold good stuff. Any rock can have a problem in it once you get inside of it. You go, man, I had some that got in and had holes and all kinds of stuff. Well, that's not their fault if you're buying the whole rock. They're going to hit on it, listen to the rain. Now, if you're buying preforms down, that's a different story. And actually, it wouldn't be somebody's fault on this stuff, because like I told you, I can check it and swear it down, it's solid. And I can have it thin as a 50-cent piece, knock a flake off, and there'll be a pinhole right there through the middle of it. Or a piece of oyster shell that's as flat as a dime. Some kind of shell off of some kind of shellfish. They started one time a group on Facebook. I think it was. I could be wrong, but I know I'm right about this. That if you bought something bad from somebody, you could report them, and they would put it on there, and it'd warn other people. Man, I bought some junk. People need to be hung. I'm telling you, all they did was screw me, and they knew they were screwing me. Excuse my French, but I never said much to anybody else about it. And best thing I did is quit doing business with them. Sooner or later, people found out one guy was no longer in business doing that. I bought stuff from him. Well, I didn't buy one time, and that was it. But I know he's no longer in business. But there's a lot of great guys out there selling rock. And I'm not going to start naming them because I ain't named 20 right now so fast it ain't funny. VR, JR, I just start throwing initials out there right and left. And when you leave somebody out and you know them your whole life, or for 15 or 20 years, even 5 years or so, they get their butt hurt. Because you're talking fast, you're doing a video, and your name just don't come to your mind because you're 76 years old. Sometimes I forget to tie my shoes or zip my pants up. Look at that. That's not heat treated, folks. Look how pretty that piece is. When you heat treat it, all these colors are going to change. It's got banded colors. It's going to be like black coming there and red. All kinds of beautiful colors that come there. I'm going to take a little bit more off of this piece. I'm going to call the dogs in and put the fire out on this. We'll pick up another piece. Look at that. I got some pinholes right here. those pinholes, I think just add character to it. They don't bother me. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right there's a pinhole like I was talking about. And sometimes they don't run too deep. I'm gonna try to clear this area out right here, and then I'm gonna put this one in the pot for sale. There we go. One more little place right here. Run this little ridge right there. There's some kind of little fossil right there. But if I had 3 pieces of this, and 2 of them had fossils in it, when I got it down, I just leave them in there because I think they're neat looking. But I'd still be happy with the material because I love this material. I love the color of it. I had a trailer I sold that would haul 10,000 pounds. It had 2 big axles on it. I wouldn't go until Eddie Lee had me 10,000 pounds. And then I get somebody to go with me. We'd drive to Georgia and haul it back. And then I would use it for myself, make knife blades out of things like that. And then I would sell it to others. Now here's a different color here. And look at here, it's exactly what I'm talking about. I stick my fingernail in there. Can you see that hole in there? That's some kind of round shell fossil that was in there. But it might not go deep, or we still got all this good out here. So let's kind of chip back this way. Drive one, see what happens. About to get out of it. I'm gonna lose this side. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if this piece was heat treated, I'd already have all these plates would run all the way across. No harder than I'm hitting on it. Look how good that one run anyway. But I'd already have this one ready to sell. I'd knock 3 humps off in 3 blows and I'd be done with it. I'd have plates running all the way across it. Okay, we're going to take this cortex off on this side. We did not run into that deep crack, it played out. Did not go all the way through it. Now it broke where it was at, part of it, but the rest of it was running this way, running long ways. It was like a horseshoe, shape of a small seashell that was round and was broke in half. That's what was the shape of. Now if I get the cortex off over here, I won't be happy with this. I could make a nice Florida type point or Georgia type point out of this. Make a little Dalton out of it. Sell it. The 2 falls over there, I could sell them. I done pay for my rock just about the time I get them sold. I'm gonna come straight across this way. On this is the worst piece that I picked up, the third piece. There we go. I'm trying to hit above the hinge and trying to do it right there too. I had to come down on the top. I had 2 hinges. That's ready. Now when I say ready on those jokers, I'm gonna heat treat them. I want to be heat treated for my customers. I'm looking good already. Look at that. Need to get this cortex off right here. What I'm gonna do to get it off, I'm gonna come this way. Grind it down like this, and I'm gonna hit this way. Like that. Now I'm gonna come straight down. Actually, I'm coming this way. Even more steeper angle. Straight down. That's gonna take it off there. Gonna lose some of the point because we got a chunk of it on the end of the point here. I'm just lightly tapping down on it. I'm not trying to, don't want to break it. Didn't have to have a big platform to knock that piece out. Now, I want to see how deep this goes. What I'm going to try to do is run a nice flake into it, coming right through here. Could have swore I felt that move in my hand. Oh, cat. Here's somebody calling me. Thought I did. That's not going to go deep. We're going to try to fix this up a place. See if we can run into it this way. It run all the way through it and turned up. And didn't get rid of it. The hollow boppers that I use is my favorite flint knipping tool, especially for thinning. I like to use something heavy like this to move big old knots, because I got to use a bopper that's so big it rolls in my hand. I have trouble hitting accuracy with it. Well, this thing's heavy enough, but it's small enough and rip my hand and come right through there and be dead on. I mean, I'll show you one of them big old boppers I'm talking about that's so big. Now on big stuff, there we go, that one's ready. Now on big stuff, I would use it. That's it right there. Now that's a monster. See, my hand won't go all the way around it. And it'll turn and roll in my hand. That's why I don't like using it. I'm gonna look down if you give me a second, see if I can find one more piece. And then we're gonna cut the video off. And, like I say, if you, there's all kinds of pieces down there. I'm just trying to find one that's different color. Here's one that's almost a honeycomb. It's real close. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this one a 7, for being the stuff we used to get. If you live in Georgia, Alabama, or even Florida, and having trouble finding flint, it seems to have a good place to get it, like plenty of it. So once again, I'd recommend it. And I don't have no dog in this race, I promise you. I'm paying for this stuff. I just hadn't had any of it in a while. And I was homesick. I missed it. Boy, I missed my Texas flint. My gosh, I had a flinted on a ranch out in Texas. And for 28 years, I picked flint up off that ranch. and it was just a dry creek bed. And it wouldn't be in it unless it rained and washed it up. And I'd go get it, and I'd usually get a couple £1,000. Then when the next big rain, and you don't have that many rains, it might be almost a year later, he would call me up and say, we had a good little flash flood. They call them flash flood, the water coming out of them hills. There's going to be a lot of flood exposed. I'd go out there and get it again. And finally one day I went out there after a couple of rains, only got a 5-gallon bucket full and drove all the way to Texas. That's like a 10-hour drive for me to where this place is. And man, I lost all kind of money on that deal. So I waited about another year, had 2 or 3 more floods, and I go out there and the same thing, got like 2 buckets full. I realized I picked it all up. It wasn't that much washing down out of the hills off the property up above it. And I ain't telling how many hundreds of thousands of years it took the stuff to wash down. I was picking it up. But that was some of the best flint I ever worked. It was such high quality. It was even waxy without heat treatment. I mean, that stuff was incredibly good. We'll get this little chalk here. I'm gonna lose probably a 1/4 of an inch right here. Get it out. I think I'm gonna leave it in there. I'm gonna take this part out right here, and whoever gets this, buys these preforms I'm making, they can learn how to get it out. That'd be a good lesson for them to figure out how to attack it. Like here's a piece right here. And the best advice I can give on that, I've got a video on it. I think it's used in Georgetown. But if you could stop from hitting on this soft stuff and hitting on the regular flint and work into it. In other words, right here, if I start hitting here, I'm not gonna do nothing. But I come up here and hit on this regular flint down this way and turn it over. I got regular flint right there, and if I can just skim that edge, see how it did? And the same thing right here, kind of like the flip-flop method. Just keep it working your way into it, eventually it'll be gone. There we go. I'm gonna leave that in there and I'm gonna sell that one like it is. Hope y'all enjoyed this short video. Like I say, I'm real impressed. I'm opening up that big box later on, and I don't have time to open it up right now and go through it. I got time to open it, not go through it. But hope y'all have a blessed day.